Imagine flying high above the exciting city of Rio de Janeiro. From this vantage point, the city unfolds like a vibrant tapestry, each thread telling a unique story. The sprawling urban landscape is a mix of modern skyscrapers, historic buildings, and lush green spaces, all set against the backdrop of the majestic Atlantic Ocean. The sun shines on the huge Atlantic Ocean, with waves crashing on the famous beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema. These iconic beaches are not just places of leisure, but also cultural landmarks where locals and tourists alike gather to enjoy the sun, sand, and surf. The rhythmic sound of the waves creates a soothing symphony that complements the lively atmosphere of the city. Big green mountains, covered with colorful neighborhoods called favelas, rise up from the coast. These favelas, with their tightly packed houses and winding streets, are a testament to the resilience and creativity of their inhabitants. They add a unique charm to the city's landscape, blending seamlessly with the natural beauty of the mountains and the coastline. Christ the Redeemer, with his arms open wide, stands tall on Corcovado Mountain. This iconic statue is not just a symbol of Rio, but of Brazil itself, representing peace, hope, and the welcoming spirit of the Brazilian people. From his vantage point, he watches over the city, a silent guardian of its vibrant life. He's a symbol of hope and faith, watching over this busy city. The statue's serene expression and open arms seem to embrace the entire city, offering a sense of comfort and protection to all who live there. It's a powerful reminder of the enduring spirit of the people of Rio. Rio de Janeiro, a city full of life, music, and energy, shows us the heart of Brazil. The streets are always bustling with activity, from the vibrant sounds of street musicians to the colorful spectacle of carnival dances. Every corner of the city pulses with the rhythm of samba, the heartbeat of Rio. This amazing view gives us a peek into Brazil's story, a land of differences, from its modern cities to its old rainforests. The juxtaposition of urban development and untouched nature highlights the country's rich diversity. It's a place where the past and present coexist, creating a unique and dynamic cultural landscape. Brazil's history is as interesting and varied as its land, shaped by native people, European settlers, African influences, and its own special culture. This melting pot of influences has given rise to a rich tapestry of traditions, festivals, and customs that are uniquely Brazilian. From the vibrant celebrations of Carnival to the solemn rituals of Candomblé, Brazil's cultural heritage is a testament to its diverse roots. Let's go on a trip through time to explore the big story of Brazil. As we journey through its history, we'll uncover the events and people that have shaped this incredible nation. From the ancient civilizations that first called this land home, to the modern-day innovators driving its future, Brazil's story is one of resilience, creativity, and endless possibility. A long time before Europeans arrived, Brazil was a land of immense diversity and natural beauty. It was home to many different native cultures, each with its own unique way of life, traditions, and social structures. These first Brazilians lived peacefully with nature, their lives deeply connected to the land and the rainforest that surrounded them. The rainforest was not just their home, but also their source of food, medicine, and spiritual inspiration. From the Tupinamba people on the coast, who were skilled fishermen and sailors, to the Guarani inland, who were adept at growing cassava and corn, these tribes developed sophisticated agricultural practices. They built advanced societies with their own languages, beliefs, and traditions, creating a rich cultural tapestry. These tribes were not just surviving, they were thriving, with complex social systems and vibrant community life. They had extensive knowledge about nature, using plants for medicine and farming in a way that sustained the environment. Their farming methods were sustainable, ensuring that the land remained fertile and productive for future generations. Their stories and legends, passed down through generations, still resonate in the heart of Brazil today. These groups lived on the land for hundreds of years, their lives intricately tied to the rhythms of the seasons and the gifts of nature. They adapted to the changing seasons, utilizing the natural resources available to them in a sustainable manner. But when European explorers arrived in the 1500s, everything changed for Brazil. The arrival of Europeans brought both opportunities and challenges. The impact of European colonization was profound, bringing new technologies and trade, but also conflict, disease, and disruption to the native way of life. In 1500, a Portuguese explorer named Pedro Álvares Cabral, looking for a new way to get to India, landed on the shores of what we now call Brazil. This unexpected discovery marked the beginning of a new era for both the Portuguese and the indigenous people of this vast land. At first, they thought they had found the East Indies. The lush tropical landscape and the unfamiliar flora and fauna led them to believe they had reached their intended destination. The Portuguese met native tribes who called the land Pindorama, which means land of the palms. These tribes had their own rich cultures and traditions which fascinated the newcomers. They found Brazil wood, a tree used to make valuable dye, and that made the Portuguese very interested in the land. The vibrant red dye extracted from the Brazil wood became a highly sought-after commodity in Europe. They started to build settlements and grow sugarcane. The fertile soil and favorable climate made Brazil an ideal location for sugarcane plantations, which soon became the backbone of the colony's economy. The arrival of the Portuguese changed everything, starting a time of big changes. The landscape, the people, and the culture of Brazil were all transformed by this encounter. The Portuguese brought their language, religion, and ways of life, which mixed with the native traditions. This cultural exchange created a unique blend that would shape the identity of Brazil for centuries to come. But there were also problems. The arrival of the Portuguese was not without conflict, as the indigenous people resisted the changes imposed upon them. The need for workers on the sugarcane farms led to the enslavement of both native people and Africans, a practice that would have devastating effects on the population. A sad part of Brazilian history that would have effects for a long time. The legacy of slavery left deep scars on Brazilian society, influencing its social and economic structures even to this day. For many years, Brazil was a colony of Portugal, its economy based on sugarcane, gold, and diamonds. Huge farms, called fazendas, covered the land, using enslaved people to work. The money made from these businesses went back to Portugal, making the Portuguese rulers rich. But in Brazil, a new identity was growing, mixing native, European, and African influences. This mix created new forms of music, dance, and food. As the 1800s began, wars in Europe changed Brazil. In 1808, the Portuguese royal family, running away from Napoleon, came to Brazil. King John VI made Rio de Janeiro the center of the Portuguese Empire, making Brazil more important and preparing it for its freedom. Section 5. The Republic is born. Having the Portuguese royal family in Rio de Janeiro changed Brazilian society a lot. New organizations were created and the city grew and became more modern very quickly. But there were problems between Brazilians, who wanted more control, and the Portuguese rulers. In 1822, Pedro I, the son of King John VI, declared Brazil's independence. This was a huge moment. Brazil became a monarchy, with Pedro I as its first emperor. During this time, Brazil developed its own identity, and slavery slowly ended, finally stopping in 1888. But becoming a republic wasn't easy, as Brazil dealt with political problems and social changes. Section 6. Black Gold and the Beautiful Game. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, Brazil's economy changed a lot. Coffee became a major export, called black gold because it made the country richer. Big coffee farms appeared, especially in the states of São Paulo and Minas Gerais. Brazil became the world's biggest coffee producer, bringing in European immigrants and helping factories grow. Along with coffee, another passion started that Brazilians loved: soccer. British sailors brought soccer in the late 1800s, and it quickly became super popular. Brazil's national team, with their famous yellow jerseys, became legendary, winning 5 World Cups and amazing fans everywhere with their special style of playing. Section 7. The Amazon's Call. While coffee and soccer were big in the south, the huge Amazon rainforest in the north was a symbol of Brazil's natural beauty and importance. The Amazon has tons of plants and animals and helps control the world's climate, but in the 1900s, people started cutting down trees, mining, and farming in the rainforest, which caused problems. Brazil had to figure out how to use the Amazon's resources carefully while protecting its animals and plants and the native people who live there. Section 8. Brazil on the world stage. In the late 1900s, Brazil's industry and economy grew very fast. It became an important country in the world. Brazil's economy became more diverse, with factories, technology, and other businesses becoming more important. The country's natural resources, like iron and soybeans, helped it grow. In the 2000s, Brazil became even more powerful, joining the BRICS group with Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Brazil became more involved in world affairs, working with other countries and speaking up for developing nations. Section 9. A land of celebration. So, Rio or the Amazon? Brazil has an exciting culture, famous for its music, dance, and parties. Carnival, a big festival before Lent, is full of color, music, and dancing. Millions of people come from all over the world to celebrate. From the samba dancers in Rio de Janeiro to other dances like frevo and maracatu, Carnival shows how rich Brazil's culture is and how much its people love life. From the busy streets of Rio to the deep Amazon rainforest, Brazil has so much to offer. So, if you could visit Brazil, where would you go? Would you relax on Copacabana Beach, explore the culture of Salvador, or go on an adventure in the Amazon? Tell us in the comments below.